All right, everybody. So here we can see the setup for our next battle report. So as you can see, it's a different layout. It will be a battle in the city center.
Caleb left the audience he just had with the matriarch Celeste to join his companions. He explained to them that there has been a rise in activity from the Havoc cultists lately. Cedric also expressed this when entering the city. The patrols the Blessed Sisters send out have been under constant attacks as well. The news did arrive that Nantivia sent reinforcements in the form of the Nantivian Knights, this under the leadership of Etienne Delacour, Caleb's brother-in-law. This only spurred the witch hunter captain to make haste into the city before his brother would run into an ambush. He had a good idea of where Etienne would be arriving from, the ports on the left bank. With this info, he and his companions set out with their wagon to meet them. The Redeemers, or Nameless, are eager to vanquish the foes of Cyran in hopes of finally being freed of the evil taint of the Havoc gods. These people have forsaken their names and live only to serve Cyran. Each Redeemer is a former Havoc devotee turned and exorcised by a witch hunter or a priest of Cyran. The influence of the evil gods has destroyed their sanity with only one thing left on their mind: redeem for their past sins and fall back into the good grace of Cyran. Kill and die in his name to hopefully one day be granted access to the heavens, as they know what lies in wait if they stayed under the sway of the Havoc gods. They fight with no fear and a burning hatred to all the forces of Havoc. To the witch hunters, this is their personal killing squad, and they are more than ready to face what is to come. And it did not take them long to run into a warband of Havoc cultists. A meeting by chance, perhaps, but a welcome one for the group who seek to eradicate any corrupted taint they encounter. In the process, they are also tasked by the matriarch to bring any rift stones they can muster and return these to her and her sisters, or any Eternal Warden patrol they encounter. These stones must be destroyed. The witch hunters draw their weapons, and so do the Havoc cultists, ready for battle. I hope you all enjoyed the battle report, everybody. So here are the fighters for today's match for the witch hunter team. I'm quickly gonna show you this so you have we will go over the stats soon enough. This is the witch hunter team. So as you can see, we have a leader, we have the priest of Cyran, Cedric. So let's go over them. We have Caleb, Cedric, Alicia, Hector, Rion. These three are witch hunters, and 8 redeemers. This is the squad for the witch hunters. Well, the squad, the war band. And let's quickly have a look at the Havoc cultists. All right, and here we have the Havoc cultists with the leader Ermac. He's also a wizard or a caster. We have a possessed cultist, Magos. We have a mutant, Bargon. We have some regular cultists here. We have Marek with a two-handed weapon. We have Yarik with a crossbow, and Harkon and Koras are regular cultists. And these guys down here, we have Torban, Hasfar, Malik, Yago, Demus, and Yarosh, who are regular acolytes. So that is it. We will go over the stats later on, but that is it for the Havoc cultists. All right, let's continue.
Now, first, again, we're gonna roll to see who has the initiative in this battle report. So the blue dice will be for the witch hunters, the red dice will be for the Havoc cultists. So let's first check it out. And the initiative will be for the witch hunters in this case. All right, so let's first gather them up. There we go. Now, each of these warbands are exactly 260 points in value, and we have here, so here we have a champion, which is the priest of Cyran, with a quality of 5 up, defense of 4, toughness 3. He has, for weapons, he has the blessed mace with 3 attacks, His abilities is Hero, Lady's Blessings, and Battle Chant, and he has a shield which is +1 defense. Here we have the leader, Caleb, the Witch Hunter. He has a quality of 4 up, defense of 4 up, toughness 3. He has the Order's Blade for 3 attacks with an armor piercing of 1. Twin pistols that shoot 9 inches, have 2 attacks, armor piercing of 1. He has the Fearless, Hero, Takedown, and toughness 3 ability. Standing next to him, we have 3 Witch Hunters. They all have the same abilities. They have a quality of 4 up, defense of 5, toughness of 1. They have the Order's Weapon for melee, which has 1 attack with an armor piercing of 1. They have either a pistol or a crossbow that shoot 9 inches with 1 attack, armor piercing of 1, and they all have the Fearless and Scout ability. Then, last but not least, we have what I like to call the Redeemers. They are infantry and they have a quality of 4 up, a defense of 6, toughness of 1. They have heavy weapons, heavy axes or heavy hand weapons with 1 attack and an armor piercing of 1. For abilities, they have Fearless, Furious, and Redeem. Now, Redeem is a custom ability, and which means they take the wound of any hero model within 2 inches of this model. So let's say the Witch Hunter is here, they are within 2 inches. If he gets attacked, he will take the first wound, sacrificing himself for his leader. And that brings a total of 260 points for the Witch Hunters. Now let's go over to their enemies. And here we have their opponents, the Havoc Cultists. We're gonna start with the Magistrate, the leader. He has a quality of 4 up, a defense of 5 up, toughness 3. He has a hand weapon with 2 attacks, a throwing weapon that throws 12 inches, 1 attack with an armor piercing of 1. He has the Hero, Predator, and Caster 2 ability, and also toughness 3. Next to him we have a Possessed Cultist. He has the weapon Claws for 2 attacks, quality of 4 up, defense of 5, and toughness 3. He also has the Hero, Predator, and Tough 3 ability, and he has Fear 1. Next to him we have a Mutant for a quality of 4 up, defense of 4 up, toughness 1. He has Mutated Limbs to attack, which are 2 attacks. He has Fearless, Mutations, and Predator. Next to him, over here, we have 3 regular cultists with a quality of 4 up, defense of 5, toughness 1. They each have a hand weapon for 2 attacks and they have the Fearless ability. Here we have a cultist with a crossbow with a quality of 5 up, defense of 5, toughness 1, a hand weapon for 1 attack, crossbow that shoots 12 inches, 1 attack with an armor piercing of 1. Next to him, here, we have a cultist with a 2-handed weapon for a quality of 4 up, defense of 5, toughness 1. He has, the heavy hand weapon with 1 attack, but it has an armor piercing of 3, and he has the Fearless ability. And then for their group, last but not least, we have 6 Acolytes. They have a quality of 5 up, defense of 5 up, toughness 1. They have a hand weapon, and each hand weapon has 2 attacks. And that is it for 260 points for the Havoc Cultists. Now, the blue team has the initiative, which are the Witch Hunters. Now we're going to roll a d4 to see in which section they will deploy. So we have section 1 over there behind my finger out of screen. Wait, let me see. So that is section 2, section 3, and section 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see where they deploy. Section 3, which is over there. So I'm going to set up their wagon over there. Right there. Now we're going to do the same for our Havoc Cultists. And they deploying in section 1, which is right over here. Excuse the mess in the back. This is also my crafting area. All right, so I'm going to take their wagon. I'm going to set their wagon right over here. So that is the deployment zone of the Havoc cultists. And over there is the deployment zone of the Witch Hunters. So they are pretty spread apart. So this could be interesting. But now, to make it fun, I'm going to roll for a scenario. So there are, that's a d6. And we have, if the result is a 1, we have a regular match, which means the warbands deploy using the d4 section setup. Taken by surprise match, which is if you roll a 2. But you know what? Let's go over it. First, let's roll to see which. And it is number 5, which is very interesting, which is break their will. Now, you must raid the flag of the rival warband's wagon, and in addition, you must decimate half of the enemy's warband. It's going to be very interesting because raid the flag, we have a flag over there, and we have a flag over there, so this is going to be interesting. But continuing on, so the objectives in this battle report are the wagons to gather the flag, so there will be no other main objective, so we're not going to roll for that. But we are going to roll a d20 to see if there are any wandering monsters. Oh my god, and the result is a 20. And 20 on my list is, holy crap, it's a Hydra. So, yeah. Not so good. Now the Hydra deploys. Let's see where it deploys. Good to know, maybe. The Hydra will attack both warbands, so it's not aligned with the Witch Hunters or the Chaos. The Havoc, the Havoc cultist. It's not aligned with anyone, so it will tag the nearest player closest to it. Now let's see where it deploys. Section 1. Alright, so it will deploy, and I'm gonna put the Hydra right here. No, you know what? Section 1 goes this way. Yeah, I'm going to deploy him here on the top of the bridge. And that's out of... So there is where the Hydra deploys. And honestly, that's going to suck for the Havoc cultists. Now, normally I would roll now for a main objective, but the scenario for this game has no main objective except for raid each other's wagon. So yeah, that's the main objective, so no need to roll for that. We are, however, gonna roll to see how many secondary objectives each warband can set up in the battlefield. Alright, so for the Witch Hunters, 3, the Havoc, 6. So that will be a total of 9 secondary objectives. There we go. Now, in a battle like this one, it will be important to gather some extra victory points because there are no main objectives, and it would just be 3 victory points, 5 victory points if you raid the flag. Other than that, the only victory points to be gained extra are these guys. Alright, so we're first gonna set them up, and the Witch Hunters get to deploy their first one, then the Havoc, then the Witch Hunters, Havoc, Witch Hunters, and so on and so on. I'm going to quickly do this off camera. Alright, so they are pretty much scattered all over the board. Now, each warband is not allowed to place one of the secondary objectives in their own section that they are deploying. Just to note. Now, just like in the previous episodes, if a model wants to claim one of these objectives, which means they can... It is an action, so let's say he wants to claim it. He can run or move and take the objective. That will end his turn. If he should die or get knocked out, he drops the objective. Now the objectives only count, the secondary ones, at the end of the battle. Alright, so at the end of the battle they will be accumulated to the total of victory points. Alright, that's about it. So I'm gonna set up my warbands now, and then we're good to go. Alright, so here you can see the deployment of the Witch Hunters. They have to deploy within 6 inches around their wagon, so they're deployed tight and nicely close to each other. Also, by the way, before I forget, the Hydra, it has a quality of 4 up, a defense of 3, it has toughness 12, it has 2 attacks, which is a stomp. That has 4 attacks with an armor piercing of 1. It has his 6 hits, so that are 6 attacks with an armor piercing of 1. It has the Fear 2 ability, which means it is an armor piercing of 2. As I've explained in previous videos, that Fear works differently for me. It has Hydra heads, and it has regeneration. Now, what does the Hydra heads do? Each regeneration that it does, so each wound that it regenerates, it gets +1 attack. So it would be wise to avoid the Hydra. That creature could wipe out the entire warband, so I think it is best to avoid that thing. And here we have the deployment of the Havoc cultists, also grouped tightly around their wagon. So yeah, the initiative would be for the witch hunters. And look at this thing. Oh man. Also a quick note, redeemers do not care for objectives, main objectives or secondary objectives. They only care to kill the enemies. As I've explained in the intro lore of this video, they are ex-Havoc worshippers. They only live to serve and kill now in the name of Cyran to redeem theirself. Hence the name Redeemers. Alright, so they won't go for secondary objectives, only go for the enemies. I'm gonna begin with this Redeemer, and he's gonna rush all the way up to here, ending his activation. Alright, let's begin. Same now for the Havoc cultists. They are crazy, but they're no fools, so they can hear the Hydra coming and they're getting the hell out of there. So this guy is gonna rush all the way to here, ending his activation over there. This guy here following his buddy, rushing forward here as well, ending his activation. And we're going back over to the Havoc cultists. This cultist rushing all the way over here, ending his activation. And basically, guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rush forward all the Havoc cultists and all the witch hunters. They're going to move, they're going to rush. I'm not going to film me setting up every model back and forth. This is going to get boring, so they're not going to get into combat or anything, so I'm going to move them all and then I'm going to come back to you. Alright, so at the end of this turn, what happened? The Havoc cultists all moved 12 inches towards here, some split off towards here. The leader is here, the possessed cultist is here, the mutant is here. As you can see, here, as you can see, same deal. The deployment area of the witch hunter. They also split up into 2 groups with their leader Caleb joining some over there with 1 witch hunter, priest Cedric with 2 witch hunters and 4 redeemed, crossing over to this section. And now it is time to activate the Hydra. So it's gonna move down here and move down these stairs over here. It turns itself because it is closer to these Havoc guys. But that ends the Hydra's activation. Alright. So at the end of the first turn, the Havoc cultists are moving that way, the witch hunters are coming this way, and the Hydra came of the bridge down the stairs to over there. No victory points gained yet, no secondary objectives are claimed, no battle has been done. And that is the end of the first turn, going over to the second one. And in the second one, the Havoc cultists have the initiative. Alright guys, so this is the start of the second turn. Now, a quick thing that I would like to explain to you. The Hydra, if a model is standing inside behind the building over here in the corner, it cannot reach it because it cannot attack it. Now let's say, for instance, if a model is standing here, anywhere where the Hydra hits can reach, it can attack. Alright, but obviously it can only attack with its head and it can't stomp with its feet if the model is standing in high ground. Alright, also if one lucky warband does manage to kill the Hydra, they will gain 12 victory points, because a wandering monster is worth the victory points equal to its wounds. Well, at least that's how we play. Alright, but I'm rambling. The Havoc turn. I'm gonna begin with this dude, and I've measured he has enough to move up to here, use this to climb up here. Now, to do that, as you can see, he's gonna need to do a climbing test. So let's see how that works out. Now, to pass a climbing test, a 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6 is okay. If he rolls a 1, he falls. So let's see. He passes the climbing test and he's good. So he stands over here and that ends his activation. There we go. All right. Going over to our leader, Caleb, he's going to do the same. And he's going to rush up here, but he's going to climb up here to claim this objective. Now also, he has to roll a climbing test, because it is more, let's measure just to be sure. Yeah, he has to roll for a climbing test. So if he rolls a 1, he fails. If anything above, he succeeds. And he succeeds. So that ends his activation. Now he's not allowed to claim this yet, because he moved action 1. He climbed action 2. So that ends his activation, but at the start of the next turn, he can claim the objective. Alright. Next up, I'm going to move the Havoc cultists, the Redeemers, Havoc Witch Hunters. I'm going to switch until there is any form of combat, so I'm going to keep on activating them. And I'm not going to show that, but you will see in a second how they moved. Okay, so for movement in the second turn, this group of Redeemers has run all the way up to here, ending their activation, followed by the Witch Hunter and the Battle Priest of Siran, Cedric, right here. Now, for the Havoc cultists, they all rushed over here, and the other ones rushed over there. As you can see them standing over there. And the other crazy Redeemers rushed all the way over here, because they do not care if it is Havoc or monsters, they just want to kill something. So they rushed over here with the Witch Hunter that joined them, hanging back a little over there. Now it's time to activate the Hydra. And I measured from the top of the center head, and both are at an equal distance of 12 inches away from the Hydra, yet he has to make a turn this way to avoid the obstacle, and this is a clear path. So unfortunately for this Redeemer here, the Hydra is going to move all the way up to him, which is going to suck for the Redeemer, because that will probably kill him. Alright, so first attack, a stomp attack. Armor piercing of 1, and needing it has 4 attacks, armor piercing of 1, needing a 4 up. Which is just 1 hit, but it has an armor piercing of 1, and the Redeemer has to roll a 6 to defend it either way. So let's see. It does not defend, so the Redeemer, it goes down. Now that does not mean that it's dead, so we're going to roll for the wound effect. So the wound effect for the Redeemer, it is a 4, which means he is just stunned. So the Redeemer is placed down. Now obviously the Hydra still has 6 attacks left, so he cannot defend it, but the Hydra is going to attack with those 6 attacks on the same Redeemer. He's not going to split the attacks, just targeting one enemy. So 6 attacks, armor piercing of 1 on the stunned Redeemer. And that means the Redeemer is knocked out, removed from play, and at the end of the battle we will see what will happen with this guy. Alright, so for now he's gone. That also ends this turn, and also ends the activation of the Hydra. That ends this turn, as I said. So over to turn 3, and this time the Witch Hunters will activate. Alright, so turn 3. And we're gonna begin with the side of the witch hunters, and this Redeemer is gonna charge straight at this possessed cultist. Armor piercing of 1 with the Furious ability. Alright, so 1 attack, and that is a hit because they hit on a 4-up. So the possessed now has to defend it with an armor piercing of 1. And as the possessed only has a defense of 5, that will become a defense of 6. It does have 3 wounds, however. It does not defend, so it does take a wound. And it is knocked down to 2 wounds. That also ends the attack of the Redeemer. Now, quick note, the Redeemers have Fearless, and the Hydra has Fear. So I forgot to mention that previous round. It has Fear too, but they have Fearless, so it negates the Fear ability. Now the Possessed is gonna strike back, full strength, needing a 4 to hit, and it has 2 attacks. It also has Predator, but this is a strike back, so the Predator does not count. It also has Fear 1, but again, the Redeemers have Fearless, so the Fear is negated. So 2 attacks, and they both miss. The strike back misses. And at its turn, it's now gonna just simply activate, and it's again gonna attack the Redeemer, needing a 6 to hit it this time, but this time it does have Predator, which means each roll of a 6 is +1 attack dice. And there is one roll of a 6 which is a hit, so it can also roll another attack dice, but that is a fail. So there is a 1 hit. It has no armor piercing, but the Redeemer has to roll a 6 to defend it. And it does not, so it goes down. And I'm also trashing this entire scenery here. And this is still 2 wounds left for this one. So, wound effect for the Redeemer of 4, which is a stun. Okay, but that also ends the activation of this possessed one here. Next, I'm gonna activate this Witch Hunter Rion. He's gonna move up here, bringing him within the 9-inch radius to shoot at the possessed, which is a 1 attack on a 4-up with a armor piercing of 1. And that is a 4-up, so that is a hit. Needing a 6 to defend it due to the armor piercing. And he does defend it with a 6-up, so that ends Rion's activation. And it is, unfortunately, not a hit on the possessed cultist. Next, we're gonna activate this cultist with the 2-handed weapon, and he's gonna charge straight into this Redeemer here. Charging, needing a 4-up, 1 attack with an armor piercing of 3, no less. And that is a hit with an armor piercing of 3, but the Redeemer needs a 6 anyway, so nope, he does not defend it, and the Redeemer goes down. So let's see what happens with the Redeemer. It is a 2, so he is knocked out and removed from play. That ends the activation of this crazed 2-handed weapon cultist, and the Redeemer took one hell of a hit. Now obviously, the other Redeemer here is charging straight into this cultist. Armor piercing of 1, needing a 4 to hit. Armor piercing of 1. That is a 4, which is a hit. Armor piercing of 1. Needing a 6 to defend it due to armor piercing. It does not defend it, so he goes down as well. Rolling for the wound effect. It is a 3, which means he is knocked out as well and removed from play. Bye. It's quite a heavy battle we got here. Right, so I'm gonna end his activation. There we go. That was a cool move. And there goes my dice. Alright, so this sneaky bastard here is gonna jump over the barricade, run to the stunned Redeemer, and throw his weapon straight into him. So if he hits him, that is an automatic knockout. And the Acolyte needs a 5 to hit, no armor piercing, and it has 2 attacks. And they both hit, so he is removed from play as well, knocked out, which ends his activation. That was a sneaky move though. I gotta say, the Redeemers are dropping like flies here. Now, as the Redeemers don't really care, this Redeemer is gonna charge at the Acolyte. Armor piercing of 1 attack, needing a 4 to hit, and he misses. Unfortunately, he misses, ending his activation. Now the Acolyte's gonna strike back. 2 attacks, strike back, needing a 6 however to hit, and he misses as well the strike back. Now for a daring move, we have this Acolyte with the crossbow. He's gonna move into cover in the window, and he's gonna shoot at the Hydra. Slowly but surely trying to take it out wound by wound, so he will need a 5 to hit with an armor piercing of 1. And he hits the Hydra with an armor piercing of 1, so rolling to defend for a 3 up with armor piercing of 1, so that would be a 4, and the Hydra defends it. Nice try, but unfortunately no hit. But I understand why he's trying to take out the Hydra. 12 victory points is a lot and very important. Now we are going for something daring, and that is the Havoc leader is going to move closer all the way up to here. And he is going to try to take out the Hydra soon, and he already has 12 casting points, 6 casting points, so he's going to move closer, so next turn he can try to hit off a powerful spell trying to take out the Hydra. It does end his activation, moving closer though. There we go. He needs to be within 12 inches of the Hydra. But I totally forgot that it's first the Witch Hunter's turn, so I'm gonna activate them double now because I activated the cultists. My bad, sorry. Alright, so we're gonna take this Witch Hunter here, and he's gonna move into position over here, and he's gonna shoot at the possessed cultist with an armor piercing of 1, needing a 4 to hit. And that is unfortunately a miss. Ending that guy's activation. And immediately I'm gonna activate the Priest of Siran, and I'm gonna rush him all the way up to here, ending his activation as well. There we go. Alright, back to the Havoc's turn. And we're gonna stay in this area for the battle, so we have this cultist charging at the Priest of Siran. 2 attacks, hitting on a 4 up. That is 1 hit. Rolling to defend for Cedric, the Priest of Siran. No armor piercing, so defense of 4. He does take 1 wound, however. That ends the cultist activation. Now, obviously, he's gonna strike back. Full strength, as he has not fought in combat yet, so full strength. Needing a 5 up. And he does manages to score 1 blow. No armor piercing. So a defense of 5 is required, and he makes the defense. So they are at a stalemate here. Locked in combat. Look at them go. Clang, clang. Alright, so moving into a more safer area of the battlefield, Caleb is gonna, for his first activation, take the secondary objective. And he is then gonna move. I've got to remove this. He is then gonna move down here. So he's gonna take the stairs and run all the way to this secondary objective right here, which will end his activation. Now, behind the Hydra is another Redeemer, and he is within charging distance of the possessed here, and he's gonna do that. He's not insane. I mean, they are crazy, but they're not insane, so they're not gonna charge the Hydra. He's gonna charge at the possessed cultist over there. So 1 attack, armor piercing of 1, and he misses. That ends his activation. moves him back 1 inch. But the possessed cultist is allowed to strike back at a 6 up, and that is 1 hit. We're gonna roll to defend that. It has no armor piercing, and he does not defend it, so he goes down. Now let's roll for the wound effect. Oh man, that's a 4, so it's just a stun. All right. And oops, I did it again. I believe because after Caleb, I activated this guy. So yeah, it was actually the Havoc's turn. So 2 times I'm going to activate the Havoc. That's what you have when you play by yourself. And I apologize for my dogs barking in the back. They probably saw another dog pass by the window. So I'm activating the Acolyte. Trying to take out the Redeemer. 2 attacks. That's a miss, I believe. Yeah, that's a miss. They need a 5 up, I believe. Let me check on the card. I believe they needed a 5 up. The Acolytes, yep. So that was a miss. Second attack. For this one, for this guy. Activating 2 of them. And that is a hit, unfortunately. So he is removed from play and knocked out. Again, another Redeemer knocked out. So that is what happens when you're playing solo games, and sometimes you're not staying with the battle, but you have to do other things, like stop the dogs from barking and stuff. So you sometimes forget who activated and who didn't. So I apologize for the mistakes that I made, guys, but hope you're still enjoying it. So let's continue on with the battle. Next, I'm gonna activate, make sure that I do this right, one of the Redeemers, and he's gonna charge at the Acolyte over here, standing in front of him, out of reach of the Hydra. He's gonna charge, needing a 4 up with an armor piercing of 1, and that is a hit. Rolling to defend. I'm defending on a 6 up, and he defends it. He defended it. Incredible. All right, so that ends the Redeemer's activation. Now the Acolyte's gonna strike back. 2 attacks on a 6 up. Wait, let me check. Yep, 2 attacks on a 6 up. And that is a 1 hit on the Redeemer. He defended, also needing a 6. No, he cannot. The Redeemer goes down. Oh my god. Alright, wound effect. That's a 2. He is knocked out. Oh, for real, man. Damn, those Redeemers really suck. Sorry about that. Alright, so the Redeemer goes down. Knocked out. Okay. I think it's pretty safe to say that this entire city is under the influence of the Havoc gods, because so far the witch hunters aren't doing an all too great a job, because only one of the only one of the Havoc cultists has been taken out, and 5 of the Redeemers have also been taken out. So yeah, score is not in their favor, and this monstrosity roaming the city streets ain't really helping. But anyway, continuing on, this guy is gonna rush all the way up to here, going for this objective. Can't see him, but he's right here. There we go, ending is active. There you see him, right over there. Now here we have another witch hunter who is going to run out of sight, away from the Hydra, all the way back there, which is very clever. He's smart not going into the area of the Hydra, so I'm gonna enter activation right there. Alright. This Havoc cultist is going to do the same and follow his friend all the way over here, standing immediately next to him. There we go. There they go, right there. And again we have another Redeemer charging towards the Acolyte over here, doing what his previous companion did, charging. 4 up, armor piercing of 1, and that's a hit. Rolling to defend, needing a 6 up. He does not defend it, and the Acolyte goes down. Alright. Wound effect 5. He's just stunned. Also ends the activation of this Redeemer. There we go. Not bad, not bad. But we're not done yet. So there are some more Havoc guys remaining, and not all that many on the Witch Hunter side, however. And when I say not all that many remaining, I actually mean, well, there are none remaining. So there are 4 Havoc cultists left, and none on the Witch Hunter side. So let's go over to them before we go over to the Hydra again. This third round has been a bloody one. Alright, stop! Havoc time! This guy is gonna rush towards the Priest of Siran, going for the attack. 2 attacks, no armor piercing, and they both hit quite well. So, rolling to defend, needing a 4-up. Defends 1, but takes 1 hit. That's gonna hurt. Alright. Only 1 wound remaining to the Priest of Siran. He is, however, able to strike back, but only on a 6-up. And he misses. Ending the Acolyte's activation, the Cultist's activation here. Things aren't looking all that great. And I meant when he attacked, he needed a 4-up to hit. The Cultist, I mean. Sticking to the same location, this Havoc Acolyte also charging just within range. 2 attacks, 5-up. He misses both of them. He moves back 1 inch, ending his activation. Cedric gonna strike back. 3 attacks, needing a 6. And again he fails. He's really getting tired. And I'm destroying Rion here. Rion. Alright. So 2 more Havoc cultists left, and have to see if they are within range to charge. Yep, they both can charge at Cedric as well. So we're gonna go for this. I'm gonna put them right over here. Also, 2 attacks. Poor guy. Alright, 2 attacks, 4-up. Misses both. Moving back an inch. Cedric striking back, needing a 6. Failing the strike back. He has 4 guys standing around him at the moment. Fending off all those attacks. Cedric is a beast. Alright, but here comes the mutant. And also within range. Easily slip in between. So the mutant is also attacking Cedric. Also 2 attacks on a 4-up, no armor piercing, but it does have Predator and mutations. So let's first roll to see what the mutations are. So for mutations, on a 1 to 3, the attacks get rending, and on a 4 to 6, it gets an armor piercing of 1. And it is a 1, so the attacks get rending, which means no regeneration. And that is something I completely forgot, because I've taken 2 wounds off of Cedric, and he has the Lady's Blessing, which means the guy can regenerate. I really have to keep my head into this. But first, okay, I will try to regenerate those 2 wounds later. First, let's see. I better do that now, actually, before I forget. Sorry, guys. Alright, so can Cedric regenerate the first wound? Yes, he does. Alright. Okay, Cedric. Can Cedric regenerate the second wound? No, he does not. Okay, so but he did manage to regenerate. Alright, so 2 attacks with a rending by the mutant, needing a 4-up, yeah. 1 hit. Can Cedric defend? No armor piercing, so a 4-up, and that, yeah, I'm gonna count it as a yes. Come on, let's go for it. Yeah, it's a yes. He defends it. Whew, knocking back the mutant, squashing him against the wall, striking back at the mutant. 3 attacks, needing a 6-up, and holy crap, he hits 1. Thank God. Can the mutant defend, needing a 4-up? It does not, so he takes a wound, which means the mutant goes down. Holy crap, look at Cedric go. The Priest of Siran. So the mutant goes down. wound effects. 3, which means he is knocked out and removed from play. Alright, way to go, Cedric. Okay, that was something, wasn't it? Alright, sorry for the confusion, guys. Whoa, I forgot about the regeneration. He has the Lady's Blessing, so he can regenerate. Yeah, that was quite a battle, wasn't it? Alright, so with that we end this turn, but before we end it, we're going over to the Hydra. Now, what is closest to the Hydra? I am thinking it is the stunned model, but I'm gonna check it out anyway. I believe the stunned one is the closest. Then we have this Redeemer. Aim from here, 8. Yeah, so the stunned model, and I'm gonna give the... Well, actually, I'm not allowed to do that. Alright, so I can't be biased, guys. I have to be neutral. So I'm gonna roll to see if the Hydra will attack this guy or go to the Redeemer. So let's say 1, 2, 3, he attacks him. 4, 5, 6, he attacks that guy. Alright. So of course he will ignore completely the Acolyte and will go for the Redeemer, because why not? It is pretty big, so I'm gonna put the Acolyte over here, and obviously he's going to attack the Redeemer because that's what they're there for, right? Okay, so Stomp, 4 attacks, armor piercing of 1. And that are 4 hits. Needing a 6 to defend him. Only 1 6, so that takes out the Redeemer. What is the wound effect? It is a 6, it's a full recovery. Alright, he remains in play, but unfortunately the Hydra still has 6 attacks left. But oh wow, it was a full recovery, so he remained in play. Now, unfortunately, 6 attacks more incoming by the Hydra. Can the Redeemer pull a miracle? This was a 6, guys. So he only misses 2 that are 4 hits. Needing a 6 to defend it, so the Redeemer probably will go down. Alright, obviously he will. Again, sorry, destroying my scenery. Rolling for the wound effect. A 4, so he's merely stunned. Okay. Wow. That was pretty lucky. So the Redeemer is stunned after taking 10 hits. Not bad. Not bad at all. And that ends the 3rd round. Ending the 3rd round, and oh my god, what a round this was. Whoa. Alright, so we're going over to the 4th turn. Alright, so we're back for the 4th turn. And it is the turn for the Havoc cultists this time. And I really want to start to do this spectacularly, so I'm going to start with the Havoc leader, the Magistrate, who's going to go over here through the door, move 6 inches all the way up to here, which does bring him in close range of the Hydra, but it is giving him the chance to cast his spell. Now the spell that I'm going to attempt is Thornfield for 3 casting points, and it targets 2 enemy units within 12 inches and they each take 6 hits. So which would mean the Hydra and this Redeemer over here, or the one who is stunned. Well, let's just say the one who is stunned. So I'm gonna attempt to cast it, needing a 4 to activate the spell. And that's okay, so the spell goes off, which leaves him for 3 remaining casting points. So first and upmost, let's see if the Hydra can defend those 6 hits. Now that is a defense of 3 up, so let's see. It does take 2 wounds. Yeah, so it does take 2 wounds. But it still leaves him with 10 wounds remaining. But still, not bad. Now I'm gonna roll to see if the Those wounds do damage to the stunned Redeemer. Well, they are hit, so he's gone, so he doesn't need to roll for defense. So another Redeemer is removed from play. But that's not all. The Magistrate still has a throwing weapon, and he is within 12 inches, so he's gonna attempt to roll it. One attack, armor piercing of 1. That is a hit to the Redeemer. Rolling to defend, needing a 6. It does not defend it, so this Redeemer also goes down. Rolling for the wound effect. It is a 6. It is a full recovery, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so that ends the activation of the Magistrate. Let's put the token over here. Okay, not a bad start for the turn, not a bad start. Moving on to the Witch Hunters, we have Caleb here, who is in base contact, and he's taking his secondary objective, which still leaves him room to move. So he's gonna move over here, up the stairs, all the way up to here, to the first floor. This way, maybe next turn he can go this way, try to claim this objective from the cultists, and then continue moving to claim the flag of their wagon. But we'll see how that goes. So that ends his activation, and it's the turn again for the Havoc brothers. The Havoc cultists. Now for activating, I'm gonna activate this cultist, and I'm gonna set him back up, and he's still able to move. So he's gonna rush all the way over here, also in close combat with Cedric, and also removing himself away from the Hydra. This will end his activation, of course, because he was stunned, so he had the chance to get back up and move, so one action was available to him. Next, I'm gonna activate this Redeemer, and he's gonna charge all the way up to here, next to his friend over here, his companion, a hero companion. And he's gonna attack this cultist. One attack, 4 up, armor piercing of 1. And that's a nice hit. Rolling to defend, armor piercing of 1. Cultist needing a 6 here. And he does not, so he goes down. Rolling for the wound effect. That's a 5, which is a stun. So he is stunned at the moment. That ends the activation of the Redeemer over here. Now the thing is, there are 6 Redeemers down. For the moment, the Witch Hunters still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 players in the field, so they don't have to roll for morale just yet. We're gonna stay in close combat here for the moment, and we're gonna have this cultist attack Cedric again. 2 attacks, no armor piercing. That are 2 hits. Rolling to defend, needing a 4 up. 1 defense, 1 is a hit, but he can try a roll for regeneration. And he does not regenerate, so that is a 1 wound that he's taken. This obviously ends the activation of the cultist, which was not bad. Now Cedric, of course, is gonna strike back with 3 attacks, full strength, that are 2 hits, I believe. No, 1 hit. Rolling to defend, and the cultist does not defend it, so he is going down. Rolling for the wound effect, and it is a 4, which is a stun. I'm gonna stick here with Cedric, and he's going to activate and attack this cultist over here, but he needs 6s to hit him this time. And that is 1 hit, not bad at all. Rolling to defend, and yeah, he defends it. Breaking my scenery here. Now the cultist gonna strike back full strength. 2 dice. It's 1 hit. So 1 hit, rolling to defend, needing a 4 up. and he does not defend it. Can he regenerate the wound? He does not. Cedric goes down. Oh man. Rolling for the wound effect. Oh, that's a 6. Oh man, that's truly the lady's blessing. Byran's blessing. He gets back up and still has his remaining wound. Full regeneration. Awesome. That also ends the activation of the cultist. Actually, he shouldn't have gone down. He should have taken the hit because he is within 2 inches, so he would have leapt in front of the attack, taking the wound. So my bad, I forgot. I have to split up this battle because I had things to do and it's getting rather late, so I'm tired. So forgive my forgetfulness. But continuing, we have our witch hunter Rion. He's going to shoot at the possessed right here. One shot, armor piercing of 1, needing a 4, I believe. Yeah, needing a 4. And he misses the shot. Oh man. That was bad. Now we're going to activate the possessed cultist and he's charging straight into this witch hunter over here. First we're going to roll for 2 attacks, which are 4 up. Both hit. Not bad. Rolling to defend, and the witch hunter has a defense of 5. No armor piercing though, so 5 up. And he does not defend it, so he goes down. The witch hunter goes down. Rolling for the wound effect. That's a 4, which is a stun. So the witch hunter is stunned. That ends the activation of the possessed cultist, but quite a hit though. Very nice. Alright. Here we have the other witch hunter. She's gonna move forward over here and shoot at the possessed. That is a hit. Armor piercing of 1, rolling to defend. Armor piercing of 1, needing a 6 to defend it. And he does not, so he takes 1 other wound and he's knocked down to 1 wound. That was a good shot. Nice. Alright, so that ends the activation of this witch hunter over here. So we're gonna activate this acolyte and he's gonna run all the way up to here, trying to get closer to the flag of the wagon. Ending his activation. Getting into some more combat over here. We have this Redeemer and he's gonna attack this acolyte. That's a miss. That ends his activation. Now the acolyte's gonna strike back full strength. And that is 1 hit. No wait, 1 hit. Rolling to defend. Needing a 6. Does not defend it. He goes down. Rolling on the wound effect. Oh, that's a 1. That's an instant kill. Oh man. The Redeemer has been killed. So we're gonna set this one aside. Not bad for this acolyte. Oh, and I don't need to put this here because he still needs to activate because that was a strike back. Now this acolyte's gonna activate and also gonna rush forward, joining his companion over here. Alright, so now the thing is, the witch hunters are knocked down to half of their warband, but no heroes have been taken out just yet, only infantry, and they're still at half of their strength, so no need to roll for morale just yet. I'm gonna activate this acolyte over here and he's charging straight into the Redeemer. 2 attacks, 2 misses. Ending his activation. Moving him back 1 inch. Redeemer is gonna strike back, needing a 6 to hit though. And he makes the hit with an armor piercing of 1. Rolling to defend, needing a 6 as well. Does not defend it. Acolyte goes down. Rolling on the wound table. A 2. He is knocked out and removed from play. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Very well done by this Redeemer. Okay, so the tide was turning on that one. It's about time. Now that was it for the witch hunters this turn, but there are still two, these guys, able to activate. So we're gonna have them run up the stairs, claim the secondary objective, and this one is gonna do the same, run upstairs here. That will end both their activations. And that is it for this turn, except for one thing, and that is the Hydra. The Hydra is gonna attack the closest thing to him, which is for the moment this stunned cultist or this Redeemer. So 1, 2, 3, he will go for the cultist. 4, 5, 6, he will go for the Redeemer. Of course, he would go for the Redeemer. And I just realized that was out of frame, so 1, 2, 3 was for this cultist, 4, 5, 6 was for this Redeemer. He rolled a 6, so yeah, of course the Hydra will go again for the Redeemer. Beginning with the Stomp attack. 4 attacks on a 4 up, armor piercing of 1. And that are 2 hits. Needing a 6 to defend, that's 1 defense, but he takes 1 wound, so he goes down anyway. Rolling for the wound effect. And that is a 2, and he is knocked out. That was the last of the Redeemers, taken out by the Hydra. And that was it for this turn, except I forgot this guy, so I'm gonna move him up to here to claim the secondary objective. And that will end his turn as well. Now as it stands, most of the battle is focused here. There are 2 cultists over there who are getting closer to the wagon of the witch hunters. And over there we have the other cultists. And Caleb is in that building trying to get closer to their wagon over there. And with that we end the 4th turn. And we continue to the 5th turn, to which it will be again the blue team that activates. So in this case, the witch hunters. Alright, so turn 5, activating the blue team. And I'm gonna start with Caleb charging over here. Moving, crossing the bridge, and he's charging this acolyte right here. Now he has the Order's Blade, which has 3 attacks, armor piercing of 1, and he hits on a quality of 4 up. So let's see what he can do. 2 hits, armor piercing of 1, so they need a 6. He needs a 6 to defend these attacks. 2 6s here. Nope, and the acolyte goes down. So we're gonna roll for the wound effect. That's a 3, which is a knockout. He is removed from play. That ends Caleb's activation, but very cool, he took out one of the acolytes. I'm gonna activate the Magistrate, and he's gonna rush 12 inches all the way up to here, getting ready to intercept Caleb. And the rush does end his activation. He has 5 casting points left. But unfortunately, Caleb just falls short out of reach, I think. Let me check. Nope, he can make it, so he's gonna attempt to cast a spell on Caleb. He's gonna attempt the same spell, the Torn Field, so 3 casting points, which will put him back down to 2, but first he needs to roll a 4 to activate it, and the spell does not activate. So Caleb is lucky, and he fumbled the spell, but it was a nice attempt though, so not bad. Moving over to here, this witch hunter is gonna remain consciousness, and he is in base contact with this guy, so he can get back up and attack him. So Hector is going to attack. with a quality of 4 up, 1 attack with an armor piercing of 1. And he fumbles the attack completely. I'm going to move him back 1 inch, ending his activation. And obviously, the possessed one is going to strike back with full strength. And he fumbles the attack as well, completely. Now I am going to activate him and charge towards the Witch Hunter. So 2 attacks, needing a 6 this time. One of the attacks makes it, so rolling to defend. It has no armor piercing, so we need a defense of 5. Oh, awesome defense. Alright. Now he is going to, that ends this one's activation, and he's going to strike back at the possessed this time. Needing a 6, but he fails. Alright, very cool. Next we're going to activate Cedric, and I'm going to move him away from this guy and move him backwards all the way over here. Moving away from the Hydra. And I'm going to have him attempt to climb, and he does not need to climb, it's just no test. So Cedric can make it on top of this floor over here, getting closer to the crossbowman. I decided to let him go up here, and that does end Cedric's activation. Just wanted to get him away from the Hydra, and first I wanted to let him run all the way over here, but I was like, no, you know what, let him climb up here, have him face off against the crossbowman. Now this cultist has the same notion, and he's gonna rush and climb up here. Doesn't need to take a test either. There we go. So he can charge. No, he can't, because climbing is an action, so nope, he joins Cedric up here. So they're gonna fight on this small platform on next turn, because climbing is an activation, is an action. So he rushed and he climbed. So that's it for the cultist. Alright, Witch Hunter's turn. So we have Rion. He's gonna move back a little bit over here. He's gonna take aim and shoot at the possessed cultist. And that is a hit, I think. Yes, it is a hit, finally. With an armor piercing of 1. The possessed has a defense of 5. So a defense of 6. And he defends it. That ends Rion's activation. No matter what they do, they just can't take that possessed cultist down. Right, so we have this brave acolyte who's gonna run up these stairs and charge straight into the Witch Hunter. 2 attacks. Fails both of them. Moving him back 1 inch. I'm gonna have Rion strike back with a 4 up. Armor piercing of 1, but he fails the strike back as well. That ends this guy's activation. Over here we have this Witch Hunter who is going to shoot at this acolyte. 1 shot, armor piercing of 1. That's a nice hit. Rolling to defend, needing a 6 to defend it. Does not defend. The acolyte is shot. Rolling for the wound effect. That's a 3, that is a knockout, so he is removed from play. That's quite the shot from the Witch Hunter. Very cool. The last line of defense for the wagon. He's doing a job very well, actually. Staying in the same alleyway, we have this acolyte who's gonna charge at the Witch Hunter over here. 2 attacks. Fails the attacks. Gets removed or pushed back 1 inch, ending his activation. Obviously, she's gonna strike back with full strength though, because she has not fought in melee yet. So 1 attack, armor piercing of 1. That is a hit. Rolling to defend, needing a 6. That's a 6. It's the wrong dice, but a 6 is a 6, so he defends it, and that ends this activation. Just in case while you're wondering, hey, you let the green dice stand. Yeah, I'm really not playing favors here because I really love the Havoc Cultist and I really love the Witch Hunter. So I have no favorites in this battle, just so you know. Now on that note, I'm gonna activate this guy and he's gonna run like hell, seeing the Hydra. So he's gonna move into the building and all the way up to here. And that will end his activation. And if you're wondering where he's standing right now, that would be right there. So he got up, ran through this here. Here's a wall, the hole in the wall. He ran up to here, ending his activation there, safely away from the Hydra. Next, we're gonna activate the other knocked out cultist over here. And he's gonna do the same. He's gonna run away in here. Going in here, through the wall, entering the ruined building. Also, safely away from the Hydra. Right there. So for now, that only leaves this dude right here, and he's charging at Caleb. Brave man. So 2 attacks, needing a 5, misses both attacks. Gets pushed back 1 inch. Caleb gonna strike back. 3 attacks, armor piercing of 1, needing a 6 this time, however. And that is a failure as well. And also ends, obviously, the Acolyte's activation. So for now, that only leaves our crossbowman, and he's gonna stand over here, shoot at Cedric. 1 shot, with an armor piercing of 1 no less. And that's a hit. Alright. Needing a 5 to defend it, Cedric does not defend. But can he regenerate the wound? He does not. Cedric falls down. Oh man. Rolling for the wound effect. 4. So Cedric is just stunned at the moment. This cultist still remains in position here, ending the crossbowman's activation. And that also ends the turn. Now it is time to activate the Hydra. And he's gonna attack the closest model to him, which is actually the Possessed this time. Alright, so he's attacking the Possessed, and we're gonna begin with a Stomp. 4 attacks, armor piercing of 1. Right, so 4 attacks, armor piercing of 1. Alright, 3 hits, rolling to defend. Armor piercing of 1, and he does not have Fearless. Oh, so the Hydra has Fear 2. So the armor piercing of 1 becomes an armor piercing of 3. So yeah, needing 3 6s to defend this. And wow, holy crap. Well, he does not defend it, but look at this. He's very lucky, but unfortunately, he does go down under the attacks of the Hydra. And let's see. That's unfortunate. That was a nice defense. So let's just check out and see what the wound effect is. Oh. It's a 1. That's an instant kill. So the Hydra kills the Possessed cultist. That definitely ends the turn. Very nice. Very cool. Unfortunate, but very, very cool. With that, we're going over to the 6th turn with the activation of the Havoc cultists. Alright, so we're gonna begin turn 6 and we're gonna start with the Havoc cultists. And we're gonna begin with this guy who's gonna leap down here. No jump necessary because no climb test, no jump test. He's gonna leap over here and he's gonna attack Cedric. All he needs is a firm attack and Cedric will be taken out. And that unfortunately is a hit. So Cedric is knocked out. The wounds will be determined later because we do not roll for wounds on a stunned model. That will happen post-match, but Cedric has been removed from play by this cultist over here. Well, oh no, wait, yeah, no, he's removed from play, no regeneration, because he was already stunned, taken out to 0 wounds, so no regeneration. Over here in the alleyway, Hector, the witch hunter, is not a fool and he's not gonna stay within striking distance of the Hydra, and he's gonna run up to here, climb on the wall, well, move up to here, climb up the wall, no climb test, moving back all the way up to here, and it will end his activation, but at least he's safe from the Hydra. So he ran up here, climbed up, ran over all the way up to here, ending his activation. Staying in the same location, we have this Acolyte is gonna charge into the Witch Hunter, 2 attacks, 1 hit, rolling to defend, no armor piercing. She does not defend it and she takes the wound. So she goes down, rolling for the wound effect. Oh, it is a 1. She is killed. She is killed by the Acolyte. Instant kill. Alicia has been killed by this Havoc Acolyte cultist. Incredible. Now with these latest casualties, which means the Witch Hunter and Cedric, takes their warband down to less than half of their numbers. Also, a hero has been taken out, so they are gonna have to roll for morale. Now, luckily, Caleb is still in the picture, so we're gonna roll for morale on Caleb's quality. So, needing a 4 to stay in play. Oh, it is a 2. The Witch Hunters are retreating. And there really aren't all that many to retreat. Only 3 were remaining. Yeah, that would be Caleb and 2 Witch Hunters. That's it. So even though they did not manage to capture the flag, their warband has been decimated. So the Havoc cultists do receive victory points. And in retreating, Caleb also loses these 2 Rift Stones. And there are 5 victory points for the Havoc cultists for winning the match, and not completely, but they won the match because the other were retreating, so 5 victory points. And they also have 2 secondary objectives, which gives them a total of 7 victory points for this battle. Now let's go and have a look at the casualties, and also a look at the streets where the Hydra has created a huge devastation. This guy was responsible for taking out some Redeemers. Maybe we would have had a different match if it wasn't the Hydra that was in play, because a lot of them had to run away from the Hydra. So yeah, great victory for the Havoc cultists. Well, I really like, they're very cool, but I also really like the Witch Hunters, so I was split between both of them. So either which side that won the battle was okay for me, because they're both very cool. Now let's go over and see for the casualties. Alright, so for the casualties, well, one thing's for sure, we have already lost Alicia. She died. So in zooming, and it doesn't, but I'll hold my hand behind it. Alright, so she died, unfortunately, so she will be scrapped from the roster. Now let's roll and see for the wound effects on Cedric. Will he make it for another battle? Yes, he will. He is still knocked out, so which means he has to skip the next fight. So he won't be available in the next battle, but he will return the battle after that. Alright, let's go through the Redeemers, shall we? I'm going to put them all on a row. And let's go from left to right. So this one he will return next match as normal. This guy, he is knocked out and will return, but has to skip one battle. This Redeemer, knocked out, has to skip one battle. This Redeemer, full recovery and will return next match. This guy, he will return next match. This guy will return next match. And the final one will return next match. So no, except for the instant kill of Alicia, no fatalities among the witch hunters. Now for the Havoc cultist, and we'll start with the possessed. What happened with him? He is knocked out and has to skip one match, so he will return not the next one, but the match after that. The mutant. Sorry, I have a cold, so sorry for my nasal voice. The mutant, what will happen with him? Let's have a look. Will return next match. And this guy with the two-handed weapon, Marek, full recovery and will return next match. Then let's go over the acolytes here. This guy, Iago, oh, he is dead, he died. So Iago will be removed from the roster. Damus, he will be, he's knocked out and has to skip one match. And then Malik, full recovery and will return next match. Okay, now XP time. Ermac will gain 3 XP because he survived the battle. Well, basically not really XP, but my level up system is if they survive two battles, they gain a level. So he's now level 1, so if he survives one more level, Ermac will become level 2. This cool miniature. So he will become level 2 if he survives one more match. And the same goes for these guys. So that will mean if Yarek, Yarosh, Harkon, Horas, Torban, and Hasfar, if they survive one more match, they will also become level 2. Now for the witch hunters, we have our leader, Caleb. He survived the battle. So if he survives one more match, he will become level 2 as well. Same for Rion. If he survives one more match, level 2. And the same for Hector. So if these 3 guys survive one more match, they will also become level 2. And for victory points, well, yeah, 0 victory points for the witch hunters and 7 victory points for the Havoc cultists. So it is safe to say these guys won the match. Alright everybody, so thank you all very much for watching. I hope you did not mind a few mistakes that I made. As I said, it was rather late, so I apologize. I still hope you enjoyed the battle though, and there will be a continuation of this story. Alright, so see you next time guys. Thanks for all the support. Do not forget to give a like, subscribe, or share this video. And I'll see you in future videos in Fell Rift, alright? Bye for now, everybody. Bye!
The defeat left a sour taste in the group's mouth. Disappointed, they had to flee from the combat. The Havoc cultists won this battle, but the war is far from over. Caleb and his remaining force of defeated warriors fell back to the Cathedral of the Blessed Sisters, where they received their healing. Caleb was ready to go back out, but the firm hand of a golden gauntlet held him back. Wait, brother, do not rush eagerly to meet your death. It will come soon enough. Caleb stood back, observing the Eternal Warden, who in turn told the witch hunters that their patrol will go out and find the Nantivian Knights, upon which Caleb breathed a sigh of relief. The wardens set out to find the knights. In the meantime, in the city streets, Etienne and his entourage had a feeling of being watched by a myriad of eyes lurking from every dark corner of the streets. They heard a shriek, and one of them spotted a rat-like humanoid on the rooftops. They quickly drew their weapons, ready to stand firm against the ambush of the Ratmen, the spawn of Abraskar. To be continued. Okay, everybody, so I hope you all enjoyed this battle. I did make a few mistakes, but I hope you can forgive them. It was getting way past midnight during this battle, so my concentration was leaving me a little bit on this one. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, share this video. It would mean a lot to me and to my channel, and I truly appreciate all of your support. So thanks again for you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next battle or the next video. All right, bye for now. Bye.